founded by this gentleman named Martin Itchen, not Itchen, but I-T-J-E-N. He was a German fella, came all the way here from Germany in 1898 for the gold rush, which was not unusual. It really was international. He stood 5'2", had a thick handlebar mustache, and he made it all the way up to Dawson City in the Yukon Territory in Canada where the gold was found. Do you all know no gold was ever found here?
That's all shop.
That's why they called Skagway the gateway to the Klondike goldfields. We were the beginning of a long journey to get up there. In fact, there's a nicely paved road now between us and Dawson City. It takes us 9 hours to drive there. Take the road away, it took them 9 what? Months. And the good ones got there in 9 months. It took a lot of people a year or more. And by the time they finally got up there, guess what? Are you ready? It didn't pan out. Yeah, you're the only ones that are laughing. Yeah, you're quite good job. You're hired.
Yeah.
Did you all know that's where they get the expression? If something pans out or not, it's from these gold rushes. It never occurred to me before I moved here. But why didn't it pan out? You know, it's not because the gold was gone, but by the time these poor people finally made it up there, all of the claims along the rivers and the creeks had already been staked. Many of them a year prior to their arrival. If you were wealthy, you said, woohoo! Great adventure! Time to go home and tell stories. But a lot of people spent every last dime they had getting up there. And they had to work on someone else's claim or in one of the local hardware stores to make enough money to go home. Pretty frustrating. But our founder was different. He didn't stay up there. He didn't go home to Germany. He had fallen in love with Skagway, decided to come back here, try to make a go of it, brought his wife Lucy up. They lived here for the rest of their days. I'm going to show you their headstones later. And while he was here, he had 3 jobs to make ends meet. Guess what? Nothing's changed. We all have 3 jobs at this time. I'm going to point out some of my old jobs. I'll tell you what my new jobs are. Now, back then, he was the local Ford dealer, the local coal delivery man, and the undertaker. Oh, for heaven's sake. On one auspicious day while here in 1923, the President of the United States, who was that, anybody? 23, Warren G. Harding. There you go. He made an announcement. He was going on a grand Alaska tour, the first American president ever to do so. And he said, by golly, on that tour, he was going to stop in Skagway for 3 whole hours. Oh, the Chamber of Commerce panicked. Do you know in 1923 there really weren't that many people, cars, or trucks left over from the gold rush here? So they sent word out, you got a motor vehicle? Get down to the dock and help us, the president's coming. Martin Itchen was thrilled. He was one of the few people in town who had a motor vehicle. It was a coal delivery truck. Boy, was it filthy. But when he heard that president was coming, he swept out the coal dust as best he could, nailed down bench seats, painted up the sides like a circus wagon. Then he wanted to name it for the president. What should I name it? How about Skagway the streetcar? Was anyone expecting the streetcar named Desire? Or something that looked like that? Good. That's when he named it. He went down to the dock, who was magnetically drawn to that colorful vehicle. The president. President Harding standing right here. The whole entourage got on board his and only his vehicle. That included Herbert Hoover. He was the Secretary of Commerce at the time. Martin Itchen gave them the first motorized tour ever given in Skagway and Alaska. And then he thought, woohoo! I think I'm onto something. And that was the beginning of this company in 1923. Are you ready for a streetcar tour?
Yeah. Ready.
Okay, buckle up, everybody.
You are listening to our tour guide from Skagway, Alaska. On the tour, we stopped at a scenic overlook where we could see down below the town of Skagway. It was 4 blocks wide and 23 blocks long, the entire town. You are now looking at the docks in Skagway where all the cruise ships come in. The population jumped from 500 approximately to about 10,000 people extra every day that the cruise ship come in during the summer. See the beautiful mountains with the snow cap on them? We are now at the scenic overlook looking down below at the town of Skagway. We went into town and walked through some of the shops. That is what you're seeing right now, the 4 blocks of shops. This is a snow plow for the Yukon Gold Rush Railroad. The snow must have been deep.